In my 3 years working with Haunted San Diego Ghost Tours, some of my favorite reactions have been from the mediums themselves. And so we'll get a lot of people every now and then. There's someone on our tour who actually can see and communicate more clearly with spirits than other people. And on one of my very first tours I was doing, there was a woman who said that there was a little girl who sits in the very back of our bus. And she's a harmless spirit, but she really enjoys watching the tour. She thinks we're a lot of fun, and she hangs out on most of our tours. So maybe some people will see her, maybe not. We can't say for certain. One of my other favorite experiences was this one girl who saw spirits. She was maybe 20, and she was going throughout the tour, and she had been having a lot of fun. She was always like, oh, there's this woman over here, this man over there. They're going up into a room, and an older woman on the tour screams, and she starts crying, and she's just like fanning herself, and she runs out, and she goes outside, and her husband kind of follows after her. And I overhear the young girl talking to her mother after, and her mother is just like, well, what happened? And the girl was like, well, I guess I forget that people aren't used to seeing spirits everywhere. And it was just, I thought it was really great to kind of see that duality of the different kinds of people who go on our tour, and what people may expect to happen and what people don't expect to happen, but ultimately that there's something there for everyone. I would say that Haunted San Diego Ghost Tours it's fun, it's silly, it's historical, but it is spooky and it is real. We're making light of something that is maybe a bit more taboo, is something that people don't always want to talk about, but we're showing it to you and we're presenting it to you in a really fun and engaging way so that you can kind of learn more about history.
As far as if I believe in ghosts, when I started working for the company, I didn't believe one way or the other. It was a fun job. And now, having been with the company for so long with Haunted San Diego Tours, yes, I do believe now, because things happen. I've seen them happen. I've heard them happen. You can touch things, when you're being touched by the spirits, and watching my guests having those same experience. It gets all of your senses, not just seeing things only, but hearing things, unusual noises, the creaks of the door, everything. It's just the excitement never ends. Every tour is different because you never know when things are going to happen.
It's simple, really. As I'm showing San Diego's historical haunted past, I just simply, boo! Did I get you? I try to stay engaged with my audience. I try keeping it entertaining, because whether or not you're a skeptic or a believer, at the end of the night, it's really just about having fun. As I experienced the tour as a customer for the first time, I was amazed by all the surprises and the amount of interesting history that San Diego has to offer. I was also pretty spooked out, not gonna lie. Well, I guess you can say I'm the Ida Bailey of attention. You'll just have to take my tour to find out what I mean by that. Well, if you're interested in having a good time, our tour is perfect for everyone. So whether or not you're looking to laugh, cry, scream, this tour is for you. And you never know what you're gonna see. Every night is different on our tour.
Well, this costume, actually, believe it or not, it's a temporary costume. I found this dress at a vintage store, and the corset and the choker I got in New Orleans, and the mantilla and comb kind of calls to mind San Diego's early history as a Spanish province. And the opera gloves are for a bit of, to push it over the top, but actually, this is actually a summer costume. I'm actually currently working on more of like an autumn and winter costume, and I'm using an authentic period pattern from 1879. It's going to be long black morning wear with a high collar and natural form era bustle. Someone should take our Haunted San Diego Ghost Tour to learn a little more about San Diego and sort of like the dark underbelly of San Diego, things that are going on right under our noses that are creepy, spooky, macabre, but also we kind of add a little fun twist to it. We also, even though it's like, I would have to say a good combination of spooky and historical, but we also pepper it with humor, and I think it's a great way to learn about history, but also learn about ghosts and get a little laugh.
I do believe in ghosts. I started doing the tour and just loved the history. That's what initially attracted me to the tour itself, as it was a unique way to see the history of San Diego. But turns out, after doing it for so long, there's a number of different things that you just can't quite explain away. And so I went from being an absolute non-believer to, for sure, there's something out there. Whether it's ghosts, whether it's paranormal, whether it's things coming back to let us know what their history is, I'm still not quite sure, but it's fun to explore and get in touch with those sides of history that you wouldn't otherwise get to see. Things have happened on the tour. I've been doing it for 13 years, so of course things have happened on the tour. There's a story that we tell about a woman in a window, and it was my story to tell. This woman was staring out at us. One of the gentlemen on the tour told me about it. I looked up there, didn't quite believe that it was a woman, and then we had one of the docents or caretakers for the house go up to check out what it was. While she was gone, a curtain closed, and it turns out when she got back downstairs, the curtain had reopened and that face had reappeared. So that was my very first experience on the ghost tours. After that, there's been a ton of things. We have spirit orbs. We are really closely working with the San Diego ghost hunters, and so we've gotten to do paranormal investigations with actual ghost hunters, and the stuff that we've found at the different locations that we visit is fascinating. Can't guarantee to see something on every tour, but it's always going to be fun and exciting and different.